Hi. Before we go any further, thank you so much for being here. And can you hear me? If you're in the chat, will you please let me know if you can hear me and can see me okay. We've had some issues in the past a couple times. So if you could please just let me know if you can hear me and see me okay, that'd be most appreciated. Just getting myself set up here a little bit in the background. I know sometimes there is a bit of a lag between me and the chat, so oh, there we go, Nicole. Okay. Hi. Well, everyone, thank you for hanging out here this evening. Again, apologies for being a bit late. Just catching up here in the chat. Let's see who is here. Dragonfly, hi. Thanks so much for being here. Dragonfly, as always. Nicole's here too. While I'm thinking of it, let's do our big, huge round of applause and a big, huge thank you to a beautiful, well, sorry, long day, bit of a headache. I'm okay. Big, huge round of applause and thank you to our two beautiful moderators. There, I was able to say it. And that is Dragonfly and Nicole. They're going to be minding the chat and making sure that everything goes tickety-boo tonight, as always. So thank you so much, ladies, for all of your help. I cannot do without you. So thank you so much. I know both of you have been playing whack-a-mole quite a little bit more recently. quite a lot more fairly recently. So thank you so much. So appreciate it. Okay, let me keep going here. Gypsy Raven, hey, you're back. Hi, how are you? Thanks for being here. Sounds like it's pretty cold where you are. Oh, yeah, so keep warm, keep warm. How was it around here today? It was cool. We've had colder. It's been a cool few days. I'm a bit tired here. Cool few days. There were a few lines in the sky today. So yeah, they're calling for thunderstorms where I am in the next couple days too. So weather and then snow after that. So it's gonna be kind of crazy weather, I think, this week. But stay warm and cozy. And then Holistics. Hey, how are you? You are back. So lovely to see everyone here in the chat. What a wonderful crowd, as we always have. I never have to ever. I know I say this every time. I've never had to worry. I never worry about the chat. I know everyone here who are good people like you. You always make sure that the chat is nice and clean and clear, and you always have such wonderful things to say. And I absolutely adore how everyone chats amongst themselves. It makes me feel so happy. So thank you so much for hanging out here. I so appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Where am I here? Quite short-sighted here, so just please bear with me while I catch up. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's Dragonfly talking. Awesome. Oh, Linda, hey, thanks so much for being here. Wonderful. Well, I actually boiled the water a few moments ago, but that is actually a bit of a change of plan. That's in the kitchen. So let me just go run off. I always forget like one thing. If it's not the spoon, then it's the bowl. If it's not the bowl, then it's, Please bear with me while I just pop over to the kitchen and I'll get the hot water and I will be right back momentarily. 1 second. Sorry about this. Okay, I have the kettle. I actually posted about this on TikTok the other day. I'm like, why is it that there's always one thing that I always forget? I guess because I'm a human being. Okay, so let's see. Oh, Deborah, you're here. You're back. Thank you so much for being here. That is amazing. Niagara area. It is so pretty down there. I have not been to the Niagara area in let me think for a few seconds here. When's the last time I was in Niagara? It's been a few years. It's been a few years, but it's so pretty. And then you sort of start heading over to Niagara on the lake and all the vineyards. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it's a beautiful part of the province. We're in the same province, just different parts of it. It's beautiful in Niagara. Aw, that's amazing. Well, I hope that everyone is keeping well. How was your weekend? It's pretty crazy over here on my end. So I know I'm sort of referred to this. I called you for a wine tour. There we go. Yeah, Nicole's using the abbreviation NOTL. That's Niagara-on-the-Lake for those of you who are not aware or don't are not aware or don't live in this part of Ontario. Niagara-on-the-Lake. Ah, that would be fun. I mean, I don't really drink a lot of alcohol just for my own self. I just don't, but that's like a lot of fun. It sounds like a lot of fun. Who's up for a girls' weekend? Let's all head over to Niagara-on-the-Lake, meet up and hang out, have a hangout. Wouldn't that be fun? That would be a really fun weekend. Be really fun. Yeah, so I sort of referenced what I'm going to say last time I was live, which was last Thursday. Hard to believe. Like, first of all, how are we already at the end of February? That it seems absolutely insane to me. The whole month just totally and completely flew by. So things were up in the air a little bit on my end. Some things happening in the background. So I don't know what the next few weeks are going to be or where I'm going to sort of be. So I may be in a slightly different location. I may have a different background next week. I don't know. But as soon as I know, I'm going to post in the community tab and let you know. So just so that you are aware, things are a little bit up in the air on my end. Everything's okay. It's just don't know what exactly is on the way. So I'll find that out in the next, few days, hopefully. Oh, a spa day. That would be so much fun. We should all meet up for a spa day. Spa, yes. Wouldn't it be fun? Like we all get together and we're just like, let's go for a spa day. Wouldn't that be fantastic? That'd be awesome. Well, I hope everyone is still keeping well and that the weekend treated you nicely and that we're here ready for another beautiful week here. Oh, Deborah. Hey, Sarah, what is your necklace shape and stone? Oh, thank you so much for asking. Okay, so I'm wearing 2 of them. I used to wear 2 necklaces all the time, and then I sort of stopped for a while, and I'm like, wow, why did I stop? I'm gonna start wearing 2 again because I really like it. And usually I have like another third one, long one, and I don't have that on. So I have 2. So this one is a crescent moon. I don't know how well you can see it here, but it has a Celtic knot in it, and I actually got that when I was in Scotland a few years ago. Forget where I got it. I kind of think it was in. Oh, I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure. You know what? I remember. I got that in Dunrobin Castle, sort of like on the eastern coast of Scotland. It's sort of like in the northeast. I'm saying approximate northeast Highlands. Dunrobin Castle, Dunrobin. This one, it is. I haven't worn this in ages, and I was like, oh, why am I not wearing this one either? Got this one. This is actually Connemara marble from the west coast of Ireland. It's from the Galway Bay area, the west coast of Ireland, that sort of section. It's called Connemara, and Connemara, I should say, not Mara. And it's marble. It's green. That's the stone of the area. That's sourced in the area. It's beautiful green. And then of course we have a bit of a knotting around the side, and then the claddagh. That's the symbol. So the claddagh is 2 hands together, obviously, holding a heart, and then the crown on top, and it symbolizes friendship, loyalty, and love, as I recall. So I thought, oh, I'm wearing pink. I thought, oh, that might kind of match quite nicely. I actually had gotten the original one when Mom and I were there a few years ago, and then I lost it on our travels when we were over there. So then when we got back here to Canada, back home, I was like, oh no, I lost my necklace because it was so special because it's like Connemara marble. So then Mom's like, oh, enough of that. Order it online. So we went online, ordered it, and yeah, that's where that's from. Bit of a long explanation, but just to answer your question. Yes. Yes, Gypsy Raven. I love the moon as well. I absolutely adore it. I absolutely 100% agree. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. Hi, Ronnie. Thanks for being here. Okay, so I hope that we're all intact and ready for this whole week ahead. I don't know about you, but oh, well, thank you so much for subscribing. That's awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so I hope everyone is intact and ready for this week ahead. Let's see what craziness ensues and what the universe, what God, universe, source, the divine boss would like us to know for this week ahead. So I do have the water boiled. We're going to be using a loose leaf tea blend here as opposed to a bag of tea. I use different kinds of tea. This one is okay to use for tea leaf reading. It's like just okay in terms of the consistency. So we'll be using that this evening. So let's go ahead and let's get the cup ready. So as always, please feel free to speak amongst yourselves in the chat. I love it. Love when you do the week ahead tea. Aw, thank you so much, Gypsy Raven. Thank you so much. That's very sweet of you to say. Yes, it's always very interesting to see what the universe would like us to know for the week ahead. And that's why I like to do, I always say it, I'm repeating myself here, but that's okay. That's why I like to do these weekly tea leaf readings, because it is a week look at the week ahead. It is a general tea leaf reading. So of course, as everyone here knows, you're all a hat here in the chat. If you're not and you're new, then thank you so much and welcome, especially if you're watching this on replay as well. Thank you so much and welcome. It's always for an entertainment purposes only. I don't approach it as entertainment. It's always, I always, sorry, a bit tired here. I always approach every single reading with the utmost care and respect that I believe every reading does deserve. However, it is for entertainment purposes only. Please don't, especially because it is a general weekly tea leaf reading. So not everything is going to apply to every single one of us. Some, none or all of it may resonate or may apply, and that's just sort of the way it is because it is a general reading. So really is a take what you will and leave what you don't kind of circumstance or scenario. But I that's very sweet of you to say. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, Deborah, thank you so much. Linda, she's got her pen and paper ready. Linda is our resident in-house note taker. She does very well with all the notes, and every week she's diligently writing everything down. So thank you so much, Linda. Thank you so much. Okay, just checking the consistency here. Yes, so as of I think as of like this week, this smells actually quite pretty. So random squirrel. Yes, as of this week, I believe we are back on our normal schedule. So we're all caught up and we're live tonight, obviously. And then we're back again here on Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. And that's when we're going to be going to be doing the 3 free 5-minute tea leaf readings. So if you missed last week and you like to have a quick 5-minute tea leaf reading, most welcome to come back again here on Thursday evening at 8 p.m. And that's already been scheduled. I did all the scheduling for this week last night or yesterday afternoon. So that's already preloaded in under my live tab. You can see that for this Thursday, and we'll be just focusing on doing 3 free 5-minute tea leaf readings for viewers of the live. Please just don't say any of your questions in the chat at the time, as always, and whenever has. And I'm most happy to go ahead and read for you if I can. It's the first 3, first come, first serve. I'll do my best. Gypsy, the last one you mentioned, Anya, my dog's name. Yes, and she had. Oh my goodness! Oh, poor little baby girl. Oh, I'm so happy that she's doing well, Gypsy. Oh. Well, I'm so happy that she's doing well now. Yes, absolutely encouraging update. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm so happy that your little puppy's doing well. That's awesome. Yes, our pets are totally our family. So I'm so happy that she's doing okay. Bree is doing okay here. She's quiet. She's on the couch right now, but we know who knows how long that's gonna last. Okay. But so far she's sleeping. She was actually quite cute. She was all curled up. I'm like, oh, please, I put a little blankie over her, so she's all nice and cozy. I'm so happy that that she's doing well. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay. I will aim to have this live posted or this replay posted tomorrow. And I will take pictures of the tea leaves, usually but like between 3 to 5 at the very most pictures of the tea leaves of the general weekly tea leaf reading. And I will post them live on my community tab. I try and do that the night of, or if not, the very latest the next day, so tomorrow. So between like now and tomorrow night at the extreme latest, both the replay and the pictures will be up on my community tab, and the replay will also be posted. So hope that you enjoy the pictures. I like to do this because it's just my way of offering some help to people. My way of offering some assistance. If I can, then I'm most happy to do so. And as a quick reminder here, my camera, I use my phone to stream here using the video, and my laptop is off to the side. So that's why I'm always looking over here because I can't see the chat if you will. My screen is tilted, that's why this cup looks skewed, but I assure you I'm holding it straight. So the way that I read tea leaves is I read chronological. To me, different people can read different ways. This is just how I do it. It's the rim is the present situation, the sides are on the way, the base is more of the distant future. So very casually said as my Leo self. Now, on the way and later. So this is the rim is like right now. Around the middle is approximately Wednesday, and then the base is like this weekend heading into next week. I'm going to strain out the excess liquid here. Anya's no lady, but she still thinks she's, oh, that's the best, isn't it? That's awesome. It's really good to hear. I'm just straining out the excess liquid out of the cup right now. Yes, and I have been posting more on can I say that other platform? Talk lately. And that's been going quite well. So if you are ever interested and if you are on that other platform, if you want to follow me over there, that'd be awesome. Thank you so much. I need to record some more content soon, but it's quite a journey. Just checking the consistency here. Just straining out a little bit more of liquid. Okay, there we go. I usually go kind of quiet during this part of the process. Getting the cup ready. I'm always very particular in how I drain, making sure that I do get the consistency just right. Too much liquid or not enough, and all the leaves will either stay in or all fall out, and that's not exactly good for tea leaf reading. So being pretty particular here. More. Did put quite a bit of like water in. It's better. Okay, that's good. That's good. Perfect. Okay, here we go. Just gonna push the leaves back down just a little bit more. And in case you're wondering what we're doing a tea leaf reading for the week. And in case you're not aware, I know everyone in the chat, this is all hap, you all know this. Just in case you're watching this on a replay, you're not too sure what tea leaf reading is. Tea leaf reading is also called tasseomancy, tassiology, and indoor tassiography. They all refer to cup reading from the French root word tasse, which means cup. The way that I describe tea leaf reading very, very succinctly, in a nutshell, or in a tea leaf, is tea leaf reading to me, this is how I describe it. It describes the qualities and or characteristics of events and or situations which are likely to occur. Now, for us, for this case, in our instance tonight, we are reading for the week, so it is a weekly tea leaf reading. But that is what we're doing, and that is what tea leaf reading is. Well, I was looking at images which are formed by tea leaves in a cup. They all mean different things. They can be literal, symbolic, and or both, and we just see what the boss wants us to know. This over here. The cup, it looks tilted, but it's not. It's straight. 1, 2, 3, quick flip. Now I'm going to turn this 3 or 4 times sunwise, clockwise. And let's just see what the universe, source, creator would like us to know for this week. Okay. Perfect. Just gonna let this strain out. Okay, now I am admittedly using different tea leaves, and quite a lot of the leaves came out. So we have a bit of a different visual than we normally do, but that's okay. We'll go with it and see what's in here. So much different from what we're used to looking at, because this is a different tea, which is fine. Okay. Ready, everyone? Let's go. We'll aim for around 20-ish minutes, and we'll go from there. Ready? Okay, let's go. Just cut it up a little bit so I'm not hearing too much ticking in the background. Let's go timer there. Okay, so looking at the rim, which is essentially now, appears as though that that I'm using my old school timer here. It's quite loud. Let me just cover it up a little bit. It's better. Okay, so it appears as though right now, for being the rim, which is the present situation. Taking a quick look. Looks as though to me that across the board things are calm and clear and quiet. This is like overall, actually. This could be in regards to what kind of tea. Excellent question, Gypsy Raven. I have to double check. The bag is just over there. I'm not too sure. It's a blend that I had on hand that I found. It is, I don't think they sell this one anymore. But it is, hang on, it's a blend. Yeah, it's a blend of lemongrass. There's a few other ingredients, but essentially it's a blend of lemongrass and rooibos. There's also some lavender and a few other things. They have orange pieces, vervain, green rooibos actually, vervain, apple bits, chamomile, lavender, orange pieces. I don't usually use fruit-based teas, but I thought this one, yeah, I can use it. So yeah, it's a blend of green rooibos and lemongrass. Which, you know, lemongrass isn't like a tea, but that's what I'm using. Oh, thank you so much. Okay. All right. So looking at here on this, looking at here on the rim. Yeah. It smells really good. So looking at here on the rim. So I would say, again, across the board, essentially right now, there's like one main event or situation occurring where things are calm and clear and quiet, and we're happy with that, and or we want things to get moving a little bit more. And this is, again, like across the board, generally speaking, overall. It does appear to me that that is going to be changing quite soon. We do have a version of the main event or situation, which is being shown in here. It looks like it's most of what's being shown in here occurs during, like, say, tomorrow, approximately around tomorrow, which is Tuesday, and later in the week around Thursday, maybe even into, I would say Thursday and into Friday. So like there's a couple things happening around Wednesday. But in terms of the main event or situation, the focus of it is like essentially a little bit now, but tomorrow, and tomorrow mostly, and then again later this week. There's something taking place, sort of happening behind the scenes, that is related to the main event or situation. Involves writing in some way, shape, or form. I kind of do wonder if this involves paperwork or documents in some way, shape, or form, actually. I would say so. There's likely, oh yeah. Likely some kind of, paperwork and or documents. This could, it's actually the same kind of thing, isn't it, Sarah? Education is the other word that I was like, I'm like, what is the other word? Oh yeah, that's why I was looking over. I'm like, what is it? Education? Yes, thank you. So it's some form of paperwork and or documents, some kind of education connection. So paperwork and or documents that's involved, that is occurring imminently, especially in terms of like the paperwork or the documents that are being shown in here, and that is sort of, that's imminently occurring, and looks like to me, from what I'm seeing here anyway, entertainment purposes only, of course, that is what's going to be changing the quietness that we're currently experiencing. I mean, I can concur. Like totally that applies for me as far as I'm aware, for my own self. But that's changing very, very soon, and that sort of is like the tipping point or the precipice that leads to the main event or situation that is being shown in here. Now, it's a quick general overview. Aside from this main event, there are two other events or situations. We're going to say two other very minor, like very, very, like extremely minor. But okay, so here's the thing. They're sizable in and of themselves. It's just that they're not that major. They're not overly significant. It could be like a large scenario essentially taking place, but it's really not that major. It's not that important. But there are two of them. One of which is actually related to the main event or situation, and that appears to be taking place relatively soon. I would say approximately Wednesday. for me, and that is composed essentially mostly of thoughts and ideas, things up in the air, things being decided upon. Excuse me. Aside from those two other events, there is a smaller one. There was a much smaller third one taking place as well. Yeah, much smaller third event. However, despite those other three, there's the two other events, and then there's a third. They're all not hugely important or hugely significant. There's not a lot of things taking place within them, but they are sizable in and of themselves. And even when we consider that, like even looking in here, I was double checking because like, wow, looks like there's really nothing around the sides of the cup. Wait a second, there is. So to me, this means that just to pace ourselves. Appearances may belie the truth. It may seem like things are kind of quiet, relatively quiet, fairly quiet, very quiet. But actually, there's like three things happening that are just not huge. Additionally, in addition to that, I would say to pace ourselves, use this quiet time to get anything that we need to get done so that we are prepared for later. Most of the tea leaves obviously are in the base, is where they are located, which is this weekend heading into next week. Oh, Sour Steve. Well, thank you so much for the validation. Good luck. I hope everything goes well. That's awesome. That's awesome. So you can't make it up. Tea leaf reading is so unique. I know sometimes people say it's like very like not clear and it's not accurate or it's very vague. Well, it's vague because we don't know what it's referring to. It's just that the information is accurate. It's just we're looking into the future and it describes what is likely at this point in time. Things can change, but this is taking place. It's really cool. Thanks so much for that. Oh, good luck. I hope all goes well with your with your schoolwork there too. Good luck. That's awesome. Good luck with your social studies. I always enjoyed that in school. Okay. So this main event or situation that's preceded by this document, this paperwork. I know I looked in the chat, but yeah, there is. It's so cool that you mentioned an education element there because I am seeing a version of an open book here, a version of one, which to me, obviously, it's some kind of means acquiring to me means acquiring knowledge in some way, shape, or form, some way. So whether that is referring to again taking a course, teaching a course, writing a book, reading in some way, it's acquiring knowledge. That is also taking place very soon. Again, we're looking at around Tuesday, and there's essentially, I would say, it looks like 6 different elements or just 6 different aspects, or pick a word, but 6 different things taking place on and around Tuesday that are related, but essentially it's like 2 parts of 3. So 1, 3, and 1, 3. It does look like a good scenario, though, especially related to the paperwork and the document, or the paperwork and the acquiring knowledge. We have a bit of a happy, winky, cheeky emoji face in here. So it does look to me to be quite it's a good scenario. It's a little like we're feeling good and confident and cheeky. Now there is also yes. So there's this again the paperwork. So there's this one paperwork that starts off this whole scenario, and then but however there's also another form of paperwork. There's another part or there's another piece of paperwork. That one is much more significant than the first one. The first one that happens is like, okay, that happened, thank you. And then something happens, we're acquiring knowledge, and then that leads to this after the acquiring, learning knowledge, gaining knowledge, that leads to another piece of paperwork or documents in some way, shape, or form. That is much more significant than the other, than the first one. And there's actually at least hang on, so I'm just looking here. There's one. I'm going to say that there's actually 2 things taking place behind. Hang on, let me just double check here. One second. I'm just being detail oriented here. I don't want to move that tea leaf right now, but okay. Yeah, it looks like there's one piece of news or there's something taking place in the background that's related to that second piece of paperwork that's being shown in here. So something kind of happening behind the scenes that we kind of know and yet we don't know. And I would also say that from what I'm seeing in here, it's a fast pace, speed, momentum, action, things taking place rather quickly. So there's forward progression And yeah, action and momentum regarding that. And it's like we know 90, it's almost like 90%. We know 90% of what it is. It's just that there's that 10% that we don't know. However, it does move forward very quickly. So there's definitely, I would say, some kind of education component in some way, shape, or form with this. So tiny little bit, the tiniest bit of conversation taking place before the second paperwork does appear or take place. However, it does conclude with a bit more of conversations, thinking and talking as a result of that. Now, not being rude, I do have the chat open here. I'm just not really paying too much attention to it because I want to be able to offer the best experience to you for the tea leaf reading. So again, my hugest thank you to Nicole and to Dragonfly for all of your help for being mods. So thank you so much. Thanks for playing Whack-A-Mole when needed. I see that just happened. And thank you again for making sure everything is working well. So thank you so much. Okay. All right. Now that is in that first section. In the second section of the three, so the three, it essentially looks like it's three components in the second scenario on Tuesday that takes place just as that first scenario that we just talked about concludes or is concluding. As that finishes, this other one begins, but it's still happening on around Tuesday, I would say. Soundly, I would say Tuesday. I mean, at first, it's like at first appearances make it look like at first we think, oh, it appears to be 3 parts, but really there's 2 main parts. And the middle part, the one section, the one thing that joins those 2 essentially together is actually directly related to receiving positive news, messages, communications, electronic communication in some way, shape, or form, most likely. But positive messages, news, and it's somehow, I would say, absolutely related to, I mean, everything that we talked about in terms of the paperwork and the more paperwork and the more documents. The one that, especially the one that has the behind the scenes component. And the third part, the third thing that joins those 2 parts together in what I'm referring to here, it looks like one, but really there are 1, 2, 3 things. 3 very, very small things that is actually one thing. It is composed or comprised of, again, action, speed, momentum. So this makes sense. This has happened, shall I be bold to say is umpteen number of times. This frequently I do see where if things are very, 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 very quiet, especially on the brim, like where you're happening, like right now, then we see momentum, then we see things taking place after that, where it's like action, momentum, speed, things are happening. Things are taking place, moving faster. That is what I'm seeing in here too, which is nice to see. But again, generally speaking, we will be able to pace ourselves this week and not have too many distractions, which is really nice. But in terms of this scenario, we have 2 indicators showing, yes, things are moving ahead faster. It does also involve possibly the letter T, but most likely an Aries and or a Taurus connection. I'm not an astrologer, I'm not nor a numerologist, but there's likely a Taurus and or Aries connection involved. Likely, it's not time frame, right? No, it's not a time frame. So it's the qualities and or characteristics of that sign and or someone who is that sign and is that sign or either of those signs that are involved. And the third part, the third tiny little part is, what is it? It's acquiring of knowledge, yes. But that acquiring of knowledge, there's this component of, it's almost like, yes, we're learning something, but it's a small positive change. And that's where this Taurus and or Aries connection is, and that's when things are moving ahead more quickly, more faster. But we're learning, it's like we're learning something. It's moving ahead. It's a positive change. This learning of knowledge is somehow a change, which actually makes sense for me anyway, for this week. But learning, it's this learning, it creates a change, some kind of positive change. For some of us, it would likely involve property in some way, shape, or form, whether that's like anything from like buying a bath mat or a picture frame to thinking of moving or something to that effect. But it does involve house, property in some way, shape, or form. Pardon me. I just looked at the chat and I just started like, I'm like, what? Whack a troll. I love it. You people are so funny. I love it, Dragonfly. That is awesome. Good job. I love it. Okay. You're so funny. I love it. I just find that hilarious. I love it. Thank you for playing Whack a Troll. Dragonfly, Nicole. Thanks for playing Whack a Troll. I just take it that we're over the target. That's all. I take it as a compliment. There's nothing better to do with it with your time other than, hang out here and say stuff. I find it funny. Okay, so what else do we have here? So this other second component, the second main component of the second section, right here basically is what I'm looking right here. So we're still up here in the section. So this other component here, what do we have here? Whatever this is referring to, I'm going to say it's some version of abundance and or prosperity, likely some kind of protection as well. It doesn't mean like, oh, we're in danger. No, it just means that there's a protective element that that is connected with a sense of abundance and prosperity. And when that situation concludes in and of itself, there's money in some way, shape, or form that's involved. It may not be like a huge amount of money, but it's some money. No, it could also be referencing education that came out. It could be referencing some kind of conversation, which is completely possible. So it could be conversation and or money, but I would say it's likely money, but it could be either or. Okay. All right, so moving ahead a little bit on around Wednesday, in regards to this main event or situation. I do talk a lot and I can go super speed, but I'm focusing, I go quiet. We have a dragon in here, version of a dragon, some kind of, again, this protective element. To me, dragons are like a knight in shining armor, times a 10 or 100 or 1,000. So there's some kind of protective element. Again, it doesn't mean like, oh, we're in danger from what that is not my take. My take is there's a protective element. I firmly believe and think that we have divine protection at all times. But there's this protective element. So whatever is taking place on and around Thursday, sorry, not Thursday, Wednesday, there's protection that is associated with it. It's a new idea that's being contemplated. There's likely the letter V that is involved. Stability, unconventional stability actually is what I would say. There's a Cancerian connection. So someone it is that sign, and are the qualities and or characteristics of that sign. Again, house, home and hearth and home and our family, emotion, intuition, healing, things of that nature, things along those lines. This is part of one of those 3 scenarios that I mentioned at the beginning of this entire reading that are happening around the sides of the cup. That's what I'm referring to here. It does sort of create a new opportunity that's unique. And that specifically is regarding the house and our home and our family. I hope that happens for you, Gypsy Raven. I really hope that happens for you. That'd be so awesome. Let's put that out there. Yeah, something to do with the house and our home. There may be a little bit of discussions regarding it around Wednesday. It may not be going exactly how we wanted. But something is afoot. Something is in process with that, and it should may not be 100% ready to move ahead at that time as of now, as of later. But it is Whoa, that's loud. Sorry, that's being discussed. Can you, okay, so that was set for about 20 minutes. We're literally only here, but I will wrap it up here. Let's keep going. In that scenario, as well as in the main eventer situation, we do have change. So in that smaller scenario, oh, thanks, Steve. Spot on. Thank you. So we do have some kind of change. We have a small change, but however, in this main eventer situation, I mean, which is the focus of this entire message, the main message here of this reading, there's this large change and everything, everything that happened up here. Yes, one of the tea leaves dried and fell off. That's okay. But everything that takes place up around here on around Tuesday concludes around Friday. And this whole section creates some kind of very unique change, transformation, new beginnings, opportunities, some positive change, but some kind of change. It's unique, maybe unconventional, same two words, same thing in this case, but it does create some kind of unconventional stability, yes, but some kind of change. It's significant throughout this week. Really becomes more known, I would say, by Thursday and or Friday. And on Thursday and or Friday, when it does take place, there's a helpful individual, I would say kind, with a prominent nose who is involved. This involves likely writing in some way, shape, or form. Likely two different documents, but two forms of writing, some paperwork, whatever that paperwork may be. Positive messages, news, and or information, communication arriving electronically, most likely, and something to do with the house that is in a property in some way. It's still being sorted out as of now, as of later, but it's not ready yet, but it is being contemplated. It's being showing in here. It's not 100% ready, but it's almost there. It's almost ready. I would say it's at least 50% ready. As of now, as of later, at least 50% ready. At least. In terms of ready to happen. But it is a good scenario. It's a little, again, unconventional, but it is a good scenario. There's a lot of things there are many things taking place with it. There's a lot of different elements in it. But whatever this is regarding, referencing to, it's ready to take place. It's almost ready. Things are lining up right now so well for this situation. It's seeds have been planted. The flower is just about ready to bloom. It's starting to bloom already. It's looking really positive. It's just still sorting itself out, but it looks really, really good, to be honest. Again, positive changes are regarding this. There's some communication regarding this. There actually may be some money involved as well. So possible additions to the family and or money. I would say likely money coming in. Again, some things happening behind the scenes. It's a little bit of a surprise. We're not supposed to know everything right now. You have everyone here, you have the best sense of humor. I love it. It's awesome. Until we can all hang out together at the same time and go for that spa weekend or whatever trip. We should plan something. Wouldn't that be fun? Plan something, get together to figure something else. Put that up there. It'd be so much fun. Yeah, but there's definitely some surprises here regarding the situation around Thursday. There's either again conversations and or money. I know I said money, but it's either conversations and or money, and there's considering the situation, it is sizable, it is significant. There's a fair bit of it taking place at the beginning of it and around the end of it too. And there's an opportunity that's being presented regarding it, as well as a conclusion specifically. No, that did not come out specifically with two different parts to it. It is a very small conclusion, but it is a conclusion with two parts. Okay. Again, it's this week. It's okay. It's not. We're not being over bombarded with everything, but it does appear that there are changes that are taking place, especially around Friday and heading into this weekend. There's positive. I'm going to say positive because that's what we want to have. Positive changes. There's changes taking place. Again, this is specifically regarding a document of some kind, paperwork, education possibly, but some kind of document specifically. But we are receiving good things. So whatever the change is regarding that document and paperwork, I wouldn't even really say education. It's more like documents of some kind. There's a good change coming with that. It's just that it may not appear evident or as obvious, but it is there. This is all helps to create a situation around Thursday and Friday of slightly unconventional stability, slightly unconventional. I can't see the moon here, Gypsy Raven. It's too much cloud cover. There's too much cloud cover here right now. But that's awesome. Take some pictures for us if you like. It'd be cool to see it. If you want to. It'd be fun to see. Okay. We have a small secondary event taking place at around Wednesday to Friday. It does involve, it is indirectly, I would say it is indirectly related to this main event or situation, everything that we've just said. There is a small conclusion that takes place regarding it. However, it is a very positive scenario. There's a couple things taking place at the beginning of this week that lead to it that will not seem very significant, but it does lead to this positive change, which is a conclusion. There's abundance and prosperity regarding this, and again, things are looking like they're just forming beautifully. It also involves some kind of creativity, making new things, new creative projects, birthing some, and likely something to do with the house and or homeland or family. And again, there actually may be children involved in some way, the nurturing. Now, whether this is like symbolically children, this could be whether it's like actual children, symbolically children in terms of like our fur babies, or just simply referencing that we are referencing the elements or significance, symbolizing, that's the word I was looking for, symbolizing some kind of nurturing, taking care of, looking after. But it's this creativity. So regardless of whether this is referencing children in and of themselves or some kind of making something new creative project, nurturing, taking care of, the feeding and caring of, that looks to be happening at around this scenario. Oh, that's awesome. Now, around Friday, Thursday possibly, yes, but Friday, that is part of another scenario. This is all indirectly related to the main event or situation, but that one, it's more significant than we realized. Like now, like now looking ahead, I didn't even really fully see this scenario. I was looking at this initially, but now I'm seeing it. But it has some kind. It's unconventional stability. It is a significant scenario. Entertainment purposes only, but in my own realm of saying that, I'm going to say it's like completely something to do with either creativity or writing in some way, shape, or form. Writing can also be, I guess, construed as being creative or creativity, but conversations, possibly, yes. Possibly money as well. Helpful individual. Something to do with paperwork yet again. It's regarding this document or paperwork. It's something to do with either that and or education in some way. It's regarding one thing in particular. I don't know what that one thing is, but it is referencing like one thing. So it's like specifically one specific course. It's one document. It's one something. It's one thing. Significant in and of itself. Forward movement, and this is all related to a scenario where it's unconventional stability, yes, but also forward movement as well, really reaping what we sow. It's like we're gaining something. It's like we are acquiring something very positive as a result of one of those other scenarios on the sides of the cup that have a conclusion with it, that starts off with a conclusion that's fairly significant. There's another conclusion, and that leads to this whole scenario here. It involves another Cancerian connection using our intellect. So a reminder to do that, analytical critical thinking, and receiving something very positive. And that's where the harvesting, the reaping, there's a scythe. Okay, there's a scythe. So it's like reaping what we sow, harvesting, receiving rewards after hard work, some connection with that. And there's this Cancerian connection with that as well, and this forward movement. It's 2 Cancerian connections with that. Okay. Then essentially we are in the base. So this is like this weekend heading into next week. Heading into next week. Well, whatever this is referencing, there's essentially 3 sections. So 3 different parts. Ooh, this looks interesting. Okay. Looking for feedback here. I don't usually do this, but I'm looking for feedback here. Who wants to hear maybe the little salacious, gossipy part? Or do you want to start off with the abundance? This is looking really good part. Let me know. Quickly in the chat. I'm going to pop in. Do you want to start off with a smaller, more possible romantic connection, or do you want to start off with the abundance? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Gossip. We have 1 for the gossip, one for the romantic connection. Any other takers? Abundance. Gossiping. Looking good part. Looking good part. Okay, so we're going to go with the heart-based connection. So, okay. All right, that was really fun. Thank you, everyone, for timing in. That was so cool. Okay, so we do have a heart in here. So it's some kind of loving and harmonious scenario. It is nowhere near as significant as the other 2 parts, but it is directly related to the second part. So if you look down here, where's my pen? My pen is here. 1 second. Okay, that was good. Okay, so essentially we have 3 different parts here. This is me going into teaching mode. Leo can't help it. So we have 1 section here, 1 section here, and we have this little section here. I don't know how well it's showing up here, but we have a heart. So that's I'm like, oh, that's exciting. So we're gonna look over here. But you can see how these 2 are pretty much of equal importance in terms of how well they are formed, of how large they are. Everyone's mind is, I know. I'm being very careful with my words here, but no, it doesn't look anything like horrible. I have seen, anyways, that's a whole other conversation. Moving on. Yes, it's a loving and harmonious scenario. There's a letter I, person, place, or thing that's involved in that situation. There's definitely some things happening behind the scenes that we're just not supposed to be made aware of yet. Some surprises. There's some kind of, there's a bit of water or liquid tea in the base. I'm just going to be stringing that out right now. Just sorry, 1 second. This is where perfectionism for me works in well, that trait, because it can just be detailed oriented. Okay, so this has some connection with paperwork, documents of some kind. And or education. It also involves messages, like receiving communication, not about the homelander family. Not about the homelander family. But it's good. Like at the very least, if it is not romantic, then we do have a loving and harmonious scenario. There's someone involved in this situation. Forward movement. Sorry, 1 second. There's a little bit of abundance and prosperity regarding that as well, to be honest, from what I'm seeing in here. It's a unique scenario. Unique scenario. Okay, so that's more of like the salacious, gossipy. Gossip is probably the wrong word, but like more of like the heart-centered connection. So there's some kind of possible romance, yes, maybe, but I would say it's more likely leaning not towards that and more towards a heart-based, loving, and harmonious scenario. If I saw some other symbols around it, I'd say, oh, like this is like really, really, really gossipy. I'm not saying that, but there's that there. The loving, harmonious scenario. But it is involved directly with one of the 2 sections, one of the 2 groupings in the base. I know this is going on a little bit. Hopefully that's okay with you. There's a helpful individual. There is someone involved, sort of standing their own ground, fair skin tone and or fair hair, like light coloring, like blonde or sandy brown, something to that effect. Maybe even a bit of red, like a light blonde color, coloring that's involved with fast-paced movement with this. Okay. with these two sections, and then we'll wrap it up here. So that is directly related to one of the two. This involves, again, positive, yeah, so positive messages, communications, information on the way. Ah, thank you so much, yeah. Well, if I have the time, which I do, and I'm happy to, if I feel guided to, and I have the time to do it, and I'm feeling okay enough to do it, then I will take the time and do it, as long as needed. I'm always happy to do that. So thanks for hanging out. But the second scenario it's another loving scenario. We have another heart there. So, but it's something to do with the home and or family. It's like there's this piece of news that we're receiving that is about the house and or home and or family that's loving. It's unique, but it is loving, unique and loving. And it's also related with the letter I, most likely, or one smaller event and one larger one, to this other loving scenario, this other loving heart-based and harmonious scenario that involves information not about the home and or family. There is reassurance regarding that unique, harmonious scenario. Abundance and prosperity. There's reassurance regarding this. There's definitely abundance. From what I'm seeing here, there's quite a bit of abundance and prosperity. It's almost like, in a way, it's almost like we're crying happy tears a little bit. There's a sacredness, a spiritual element in here. It's a very good, whatever this is referencing, there is abundance and prosperity. It is very unique. There's a lot happening behind the scenes that we're just not supposed to know about. However, there is the number 3 in here, number 3. So to me, I'm no numerologist, but to me that means like working with other people, like the Trinity. I mean, there's so many different meanings, but something to that effect. And there's like the sacredness, a spiritualness, maybe even a little bit of something hidden, which completely makes sense. But it's like a universal connection, a spiritual, shamanic connection. But again, a lot of things happening behind the scenes there that we're just not supposed to know about. Now, the number 7 and 1 may literally be the case in some way, shape, or form with some of us. So mentioning that in case it makes sense to us in some way, shape, or form. Also, the letter I, again, is being shown for the second time. It is a good scenario. We have the small instance of abundance and prosperity. From what I'm seeing, this is all this week and heading into next week. Something about the home and our family, but there's like the sense of, it's where the 3, the working with other people is involved. And with that one, we have, I love you. You people are awesome. I love all of you. When I write my messages on my community tab, I'm like, oh, hi all. And I'm like, should I say all? I want to say friends because you're all like my friends as far as I'm concerned. I love you all. Okay, so, but there is this guardianship, this protectiveness that's being shown in here. Loving energy, protective, guardian, taking care of, looking after, that's being shown in here. There's a new idea that's being contemplated. And it also has a connection with, there's like a conclusion, a small conclusion that starts it, that begins that whole scenario, and then that leads to everything that we've just said. It does involve working with other people as well. Also, positive change, possible Scorpio connection, and something to do with, again, with the house and or home and or family, which seems to be a theme this week. Okay. For me, this other scenario of relatively of equal importance, I'd say even a little bit more important or significance. Almost like we're crying happy tears. Letter J, person, place, or thing. Maybe letter I again. I would say more likely letter J, if anything. Forward movement. There's this sense of abundance and prosperity that is fairly significant. Quite significant, if not fairly significant. And it all involves with positive movement forward, not being held back, going for whatever it is that you want to have, working with other people, loving romantics, like romantic came out almost like a soulmate, possibly a soulmate connection, like a loving and romantic scenario. So, it's the third heart that I've seen in here in the base. Action momentum. There's someone with a prominent nose. I think they came up before, didn't they? So there's someone with a prominent nose who's either like a darker skin tone, like a darker coloring, a darker hair, maybe even a red tone hair. And this all has to do with reassurance. The quality of reassurance is involved, specifically also regarding acquiring of knowledge. But this forward movement, this fast-paced movement is being shown in here. A reminder that the angels are always around us, which that's my firm belief anyway. But the angels are around us, I would say, at all times. But in here, specifically in that regards to that, in that scenario, I can talk. Letter M, person, place, or thing. It's one main abundance and prosperity. It's just that there's a partnership as of later, a partnership that's forming very nicely, like 3/4 formed, at least half, if not 3/4 formed. And really just going for whatever it is that you want to have. And this is like all of everything that I've just said, it's like it's forward movement, yes, but it's like going towards, it's almost like it's directed towards, amplifies the second scenario, the one I just finished speaking about. So very significant document that's involved. I would also say, again, we have another person, someone else with a prominent nose. I would say if it's not the same person, then there's two people in that scenario specifically with prominent noses. Likely a man, at least the second one is likely a man, probably the first one as well. But the sense of fast pace and momentum, significant document, paperwork in some way, shape, or form, forward movement yet again. Letter M, new opportunity that's being shown. Okay, what's this? Yeah. Paperwork. Some kind of, that seems to be another theme this week. Significant document of some kind. That's a little bit hidden though. That's a little bit behind the scenes. We're not supposed to know all the details as of now, but there is reassurance, I would say, regarding that. It looks like a good scenario, whatever it is regarding. And there was a small conclusion regarding that, and that's where this acquiring of knowledge and this individual, this man with the likely man with the prominent nose, is involved. Okay. One more check, and then I think we're going to call it a night. Letter S, person, place, or thing. A new creative venture of some kind. I look, when I'm peering closely into the cup, I'm looking for detail. When I go out, I'm looking for overall shapes. A bit more information. New opportunity that's being contemplated, being presented, being thought about this weekend, heading into next week. Could very well, yeah, it's a new idea that's being presented, being thought about. Letter Z or Z, that's related to the second event with the spiritual connection, and that spiritual connection is actually quite strong. And I would say it's likely strong in or present in two different ways, or in two different instances. Now, that scenario specifically does have, there's a small opportunity that's being presented regarding that as well. That does involve a lot of paperwork, Okay. So I think that's pretty good. We also have another change that's happening this weekend. It may be like I would say that we have a small reminder in here to have like glass half full versus glass half empty way of thinking, especially this weekend, as the two, something is related. Somehow it's something to do with these two main events here on the base. Somehow they're connected and or taking place at the same time, and it's sort of like a scenario where we're like, oh, we may not be entirely happy with or pleased with the way that it is being shown or what goes on, but it's like a glass half full, glass half empty perspective, perception, mentality, way of thinking. That's all. But we also letter M as well, related to the main event or scenario. Again, this new creative projects, this positive change. Letter V and or W as well, related to the main one, the forward movement, the forward progression. And that's what I'm seeing here. So that went way over time, but I hope everyone enjoyed their reading. It all comes from the boss, whatever name you're comfortable with using. And I really hope that you enjoyed this tea leaf reading. So I will have pictures of the reading posted. If tonight, if not tonight, then by tomorrow. So I'm gonna check on the chat ever so quickly. I was keeping a little bit of an eye on it over here. Looks like everyone was having so much fun with Whack-A-Troll. I love it. Oh, I love it. I love all of your sense. We have to have a sense of humor, right? If we have to, it's so important. But everyone, I hope that you enjoyed that reading. That was really fun. Looks like there may be a heart-based connection at the very least happening this weekend. It looks really interesting. And my gosh, my beautiful mods, you ladies are working so hard tonight. And I know the rest of you in the chat who are contributing very, very kindly and very, completely good intentions. Thank you for our help, helping, making sure the energy is nice and high, and we're gonna laugh at them rather than be upset or whatever. Thank you for being here. I so appreciate all of your comments. I will try and look. I will look for the moon. I will look for the moon. I know. I think it was full a couple nights ago, wasn't it? I'll look and see if I can. If there was quite a bit of cloud cover today, Gypsy Raven over here where I am. So I'll see. I'll see how I can see what I'll see what I can see. Oh, Gypsy, I hope that is so sweet. I've heard of those blind harnesses for pets. I really have. That would be so cool. I hope that sad that she would need it, of course, but it's amazing that she has you. What's her mom? Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, chat here. You have a squirrel you rescued. That is cool. I love squirrels. I love animals. Oh. Well, Deborah, thank you so much for being here. Nighty night. Mishi, I hope I said that name correctly. That's cool. Yes, I totally and completely agree. Well, everyone, we did it. We got through it. Huge thanks again to everyone in the chat for saying wonderful, wonderful things and for hanging out here and keeping the energy nice and high. We have to have humor, right? And a huge thank you again to my beautiful mods. Our beautiful, no, it's not you're not my mods, you're our mods. Nicole and Dragonfly for playing Whack-A-Troll, new game, and for keeping all of that in check. Could not do this without all of you. So thank you so much for all of your help. Thank you so much, Deborah. I so appreciate it. Yeah, seeing the like button. I haven't noticed too much of this happening with the numbers, the number of times my videos have been looked at lately, but it happened again the other day. So liking, subscribing if you're interested. All of these things sound so small, but genuinely, they really help with the algorithm. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. I hope all paperworks and documents are stuff from the tea reading. Yes, absolutely. Well, I hope everyone has an amazing week. Thank you again so much for hanging out here. I always feel kind of badly ending the live stream because we're all having such a nice time hanging out. But I will aim to have this posted, like I said. The replay sometimes takes a while to process in the background here. Aim to have it posted tomorrow at the very latest, and I'll aim to have the pictures of the tea leaves tonight, tea leaf reading from tonight, either posted tonight or tomorrow at the very latest on my community tab. So if you're ever curious, it's just that little tab on the top there on my page here on YouTube. Just click on that community, and I do post on there fairly regularly. So you can check that out and look at the tea leaves. I always like to do that just for reference so that you can see what I'm looking at here. So thank you again. Hope everyone has such an amazing week. I'm going to be checking. We'll check back in here again on Thursday. That is the last day of this month, using the calendar that we're using. And that is February the 29th. That's Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And that's when we're going to be doing the viewer readings. So we offer the 3 live viewer readings. They really are like a taste test. Shameless plug, whenever I offer private tea leaf readings, the minimum amount is 15 minutes, 15 minutes. So it's really a taste test. It's just sort of something nice that I like to offer so you can experience what a tea leaf reading is like. So if you're interested, come back on Thursday. And until then, yes, have a fantastic week to you too, Gypsy Raven. Yes, with more fun tea. Yes, absolutely. Thank you again, all. Have a beautiful, beautiful night. Enjoy that beautiful moon out there. Thank you so much, MM Holistics. I love you all so much. Have a great evening. Have a great week ahead. And I will know more. I'll probably have an update by Thursday. So maybe when we go live again on Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'll probably most likely will know what's happening with my schedule. So then I can let you know what's going on, what's going to be happening here on my end. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Have a great night, everyone. Nighty night. Love you all so much and take care. And we'll see you again here on Thursday. Love you all. Thanks for hanging out here. This was so much fun as always. Nighty night.